Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is March 12, 2015. It is 7 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
President Riley,
Here.
Vice President Ori,
Here.
Commissioner Egan,
Present.
Commissioner Heidi,
Here.
Commissioner Janner,
Here.
Commissioner Todd,
Here.
Commissioner Young, absent.
Next item is Commissioner Young will not be able to call in to attend remotely. So we have awards and recognition. And I would like to call forward some representatives from the Naperville Parks Foundation, Jim Healy, Frank Slocum, and former Naperville Park District Commissioner and Board President Bob Schillerstrom.
Thank you. Stand over here, I take it. Thank you. I'd like to introduce some wonderful people from BMO Harris Bank. Don Heatherly is Vice President of BMO Harris Private Bank. Tony Quillos? Okay, thank you. Senior Vice President of Business Banking. And Oliver Sabugal, Vice President of Retail Banking. Don, Tony, Oliver, would you like to come down and join us right now? The floor is yours.
I have this TV channel on.
Do you?
We don't really have prepared remarks, but on behalf of Tony and Oliver and our Community Foundation Director, Lisa Jarmoshka, we'd like to present a $5,000 check to the Naperville Parks Foundation on the behalf of BMO Harris. BMO Harris has been in Chicago since 1882, and we've been an active member of this community for many, many years, first with the bank in Naperville. Also, we had a name change a few years ago, but I think across, speaking for the local employees in the organization, it is an absolute joy to be a member of this community, to be able to work with an organization. I have 2 children at home who have really benefited from Naperville Parks. I know Tony also has young children. It's just a joy to be able to present this money on behalf of the organization. So use it well, I know you will.
Frank, you're the treasurer. Why don't you get the check?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
If we deposit large ones, do we get more interest on it? Or?
This will clear very quickly.
I think it already has.
Come on in.
Yeah.
We'll scoot that way
So
we don't get
formal.
Walk up the steps.
So just a few remarks if I can. I never leave an opportunity not to say something about the foundation. On behalf of the Naperville Parks Foundation, I want to thank BMO Harris Bank for this very generous donation. Come on, stay up here, guys. You guys deserve the credit on all this. You know, BMO Harris is an outstanding institution in our city and an institution that cares. The Naperville Parks Foundation began with a small group of people who got together to see what they could do to help support our Naperville parks and our open space projects. The Naperville Parks Foundation is now proud to be a partner with BMO Harris Bank and Naperville Park District to make park programs and services available to children and families who cannot afford them. This generous donation by BMO Harris today will be used to give residents experiencing financial hardships the opportunity to enjoy recreation programs that many people take for granted. Just in recent years, the need for the scholarship program has skyrocketed dramatically. Since 2008, we have seen a 139% increase, or should I say you have seen a 139% increase in the scholarship program participants. As we all know, physical activity is linked to better performance in our schools and better health. And we are all committed. I know all of us up here on the stage, everybody in the audience, and all of you commissioners up there today, of making recreational programs available to everyone, whether they can afford it or not. So once again, on behalf of the Naperville Parks Foundation, we'd like to thank BMO Harris Bank for this generous donation. And again, thank you all very much. cash it, Frank, quick.
Thank you all. Thank you all for your excellent work for the Park District. Thank you. Jackie, do we have anyone from the public signed up to speak? And we'll move on to reports and updates. First, the Riverwalk Commission. No report.
I think the ceremony just concluded, speaks for itself.
That was a short but very effective report. Next, the Finance Committee update, Vice President Ori.
No report this month.
Legislative Committee update from Commissioner Janner.
Thank you, President Riley. The Legislative Committee met on Monday, February 23rd at 6 p.m. at the Knock Knolls Nature Center. In addition to board and staff, we were honored to welcome State Senator Michael Connolly, Representative Grant Worley, and Representative Stephanie Kifowit as our invited guests. Our legislators were provided with a tour of our Nature Center, led by Angelique Harshman, our Nature Center manager, and staff. During our dinner meeting, we reminded our state legislators that the Naperville Park District can be a great resource for them as they make decisions involving health and wellness, safety, and sustainability. We also provided updates on our Fort Hill Activity Center project, Sportsman's Park improvements, proposed Riverwalk eatery renovations, and our annual Spring Fever Reliever event on May 9th. Senator Connolly, Representative Worley, and Representative Kifowit provided legislative updates, including their views on the climate in Springfield, their warnings that difficult and unpopular decisions are on the horizon, and their discussion of belt tightening at the state level. The Naperville Park District will be represented at the annual Parks Day at the state capitol on April 28th, during which we will continue to dialogue with our legislators about issues that are important to the Naperville Park District and all park districts. The next meeting of the Legislative Committee will be this upcoming Tuesday, March 17th from 8 to 9 a.m. I plan on wearing my complete leprechaun suit, which is customary for meetings held on St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jenner. Next, we have the Parks and Recreation Committee update, Commissioner Heidi. Commissioner.
I'll be giving the report this week. The Parks and Recreation Committee met February 20th. We reviewed the building elevations, floor plan, menu, operating hours, and pro forma financials for the Riverwalk Eatery. We reviewed staff proposed adjustments to the 10-year capital improvement plan. These adjustments included adding 4 projects to 2016 and shifting 8 projects from 2016 to a later date. One of the adjustments under consideration, for example, is to move the Walnut Ridge Park basketball court renovation from 2016 to 2021. The basketball court remains in good condition. Also proposed is moving renovations to the Riverwalk Eatery earlier, from 2016 to 2015, and the specifics of these proposed adjustments will be discussed at our next park board meeting. Well, some of that will change. The committee discussed at length the benefits that contracting with ActiveNet for registration software. Some of those benefits included limiting liability and the costly and administrative burden of PCI compliance, contracting incentives in the form of favorable pricing, multiple data centers that host ActiveNet located at various locations throughout the country, and a payment plan for the Park District based on transactions rather than seats. ActiveNet has a 25-year heritage in the industry and serves park districts as well as the private sector. Staff prepared the committee for the 52-page document in our next packet that contain changes to the administrative policies. The most notable of these changes are changes to the scholarship policy, changes to the non-resident participation policy, and changes to the frequency of the community interest and opinion survey. In the department updates, the Recreation Department shared that it held its annual meeting with the athletic organizations to go over lightning protocols, reminders of being considerate of park neighbors, and tips on how to avoid destroying fields during bad weather. The Park District posted 2 summer internship positions available for this summer. One will work at the Nature Center, and the other will assist the program managers of the Recreation Department. Good news about the cold weather in February. The ice lasted a couple of weeks longer than usual, which has provided a great opportunity for ice skating and hockey. Zebra mussels were found in the Riverwalk irrigation system intakes. This is a problem that will require prudent management for years to come. The Peace Pole is expected to be erected in Veterans Park with a ceremony to follow in May. LED bulb replacement effort is calculated to provide an average of 4.5 years payback. Parks has done a great job of controlling its costs while power prices rise. The Segment 5 trail is facing a timing setback due to a delay in receiving grant funds from the IDOT. Rather than early 2016, we are expecting completion in the fall of 2016. The next meeting for Parks and Recreation is March 20th at 8 a.m. in the Administration Building. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Todd. Next is the Golf Committee meeting.
Me too.
Keep going.
Okay. Golf Committee met February 16th. We reviewed the 2014 financials. Rounds were down slightly from 2013 numbers. There will be a net loss of $68,000 for 2014. This was attributed mainly to the poor weather in 2014. We then reviewed the golf capital projects, replacement of a couple of mowers, replacement of carts, pump repairs, and range room upgrades were identified. The Brooks Golf Academy Training Center is up and running. Marketing is working on branding. There's an open house planned for April 25th from 11 to 1. Golf marketing and finance got together for a retreat to do a complete review of pricing, marketing, and outings. Under consideration is marketing more outings at Naperville and the use of volunteers. Marketing reported there will be a focus on the Brooks Academy, and we have a reciprocal agreement with Plainfield, and we'll have new promo material in 2015. The Homeowners Confederation will give us space for golf advertising. A new 2015 golf brochure is in progress, and we will have exposure on the Chicago golf scene, and there will be a chamber event planned for June 14, 2016. Next meeting of the Golf Committee is March 23rd at 7:30 a.m. at Springbrook. Thank you.
Thank you for those complete reports. Next is the President's report. By the time of our next meeting in these chambers, voters will have decided on the 3 individuals they want to represent them on the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. 2 incumbent commissioners, Marie Todd and Rich Janner, are running for re-election, and 1 commissioner, Ron Ori, Vice President Ron Ori, has decided not to run again after faithfully serving the district for 20 years. Ron's decision guarantees that there will be at least 1 new member on the board. The district is fortunate that 2 quality candidates, Melvin Kim and Jim Ensign, have stepped forward so that we have 4 good candidates vying for the 3 seats available. Commissioners Janner and Todd have served residents very well during their tenure on the board, and candidates Ensign and Kim present themselves as engaged citizens willing to work in the best interest of our community. I wish them all well. Additionally, one of our current commissioners who is not up for re-election in this cycle, Bill Egan, is on the ballot for City Council. As you know, this year's Naperville City Council election is historic in that all 8 City Council positions and the mayor are on the ballot. If Commissioner Egan is successful in his bid for City Council, he would have to resign from the Park District, thereby creating an opening that could be filled after the election. The real message here is that it is in your best interest to learn about the candidates and actually get out and vote for your choices. Local government has a significant impact on our daily lives, and your vote can definitely make a difference. Now, the highlight of the meeting is always our Executive Director's report.
Okay. Well, I wish I could start off with some better news, but on the afternoon of March 11th, the Naperville Park District was notified via email that their $2.5 million park and recreational facility construction grant, park grant, that was awarded back in July of 2014 by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources was being suspended indefinitely. These funds were earmarked to go toward the building of the Fort Hill Activity Center. The district's favorable grant status had been reconfirmed as recently as late January of this year. And basically what that means is that we have an email in our possession from the Appropriations and Budgeting Office in Springfield that says that the funds were released and obligated toward the project. Unfortunately, yesterday, that all changed for us. As I'm sure you will be discussing here shortly, staff is recommending 2 actions with respect to tonight's agenda. The first one, continue to move forward with the Activity Center project and contracts. And secondly, table the eatery project indefinitely, which will require rejecting all the bids. And I know we'll have some discussion on that coming up. On a lighter note, and I know Commissioner Todd just talked about it, but I'll go over this a little bit more. The Brooks Training Academy Center, if you're a golfer who wants to get or stay in shape and improve your golf game, you'll want to check out Springbrook Golf Course's brand new Brooks Golf Academy Training Center, which is housed in what was formerly known as the Range Room. This facility features a variety of fitness equipment, free weights, and more in addition to the expertise of National Academy of Sports Medicine certified trainer Todd Russell. Choose from several different training program options and let Todd customize a fitness regimen tailored to meet your golf game and physical fitness goals. Separate trips to a gym are no longer necessary. You can play golf and stay in shape all in one place. And be sure to join us again on Saturday, April 25th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. for our Brooks Golf Academy Training Center open house. Guests will enjoy fitness demonstrations and refreshments while checking out the equipment and learning about the training center programs. Additionally, everyone who visits during the open house will be entered into a drawing to win a 2-session fitness package with Todd. For more information on the training center as well as other golf programs and events, please visit our website, www.golfnaperville.org. In just a couple of weeks, our community will be on spring break. If you're staying in Naperville this year and looking for something fun for the kids to do, be sure to check out our spring break camps guide for all ages. And backed by popular demand is our grandparent-grandchild spring break week that's filled with many free and reasonably priced activities for grandparents and their grandkids. All camps and spring break week activity information is available in the Spring 2015 program guide, which was delivered last week. Registration is currently in progress for these and other spring programs, so please visit napervilleparks.org for more information on how to register. I also want to call your attention to the fact that registration for summer camps is currently in progress. Our 2015 Summer Camps Guide also was delivered last week to the residents' doorsteps along with the Spring Program Guide. Filled with lots of summer fun, full-day camps, half-day camps, sports, and a variety of activities for kids of all ages, this essential resource will help you set your family's plan for warmer days ahead. For more information and to view the virtual version of the Summer Camps Guide, again, please go to our website. Not yet. There's more. Hang on. Your child will love learning the great American pastime through the Naperville Park District's progressive baseball and softball programs for kids in pre-kindergarten through 8th grade. Registration for T-ball, coach pitch, machine pitch, and girls softball programs begin March 16th. Programs start the week of May 18th. Be a part of the Naperville Park District's tradition of baseball this year. And finally, I am pleased to announce the return of spring, which seems to finally be here, in addition to our 2nd annual Spring Fever Reliever. This free event for all ages, which was first brought to the Riverwalk last year, is a great opportunity for our residents to come out and enjoy a wide variety of activities, music, and games, and build anticipation for lots of outdoor fun this spring and fall. The Spring Fever Reliever will be held on Saturday, May 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Riverwalk. We look forward to another great event and are hoping for the best with the weather. For more information on these and all programs, again, please visit www.napervilleparks.org or give us a call at 630-848-5000. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the approval of the treasurer's report.
Move to approve the January 31st, 2015 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Young absent, President Riley.
Yes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Request that items E through L, Echo through Lima, be removed from the consent agenda.
Any others?
So the motion would be then to establish the consent agenda items A through D and M through S.
Move to accept consent agenda items Alpha through Delta and Mike through Sierra.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion?
Who did the second, Rich?
Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Young absent, President Riley.
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda as accepted.
Second.
We have motion and a second. This is a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. The next item we have is items E through L. We have motion to accept items E through L for discussion.
Yeah, you can, the motion would be to approve items E through L unless somebody wants to do it. We pulled these, we recommended to President Riley, we pull these off consent agenda. We have, we brought in resources to answer any questions. We know that this has moved pretty quickly surrounding, you know, the news from the State House. So we brought resources to answer questions if people have them. You know, if you wanted to take the items one at a time, that's your prerogative, or you can entertain a motion to approve E through L all together, and then we can just talk about Fort Hill as one big item that way. So if you're so inclined, the motion would be to approve items E through L from the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and a second. In terms of discussion on that, could I ask our executive director to lead us off?
Well, I think Dirk did a great job already setting this up. There's not much to say other than what has already been said with the statement. It's obviously been advertised in the newspaper. Myself and staff and members of White met today. And as my recommendation earlier was, is that the unfortunate timing of this is such that, you know, yes, does it put a damper on our parade? Yes. But as I said in my release today to the press, this board nor this executive director would ever allow a project to move forward contingent on a grant. We just don't do business that way. So while we are disappointed that the $2.5 million is being held in abeyance right now, we are confident, very confident, that we can fill that gap by going back in and looking at the project a little bit closer, as well as having the ability to use our reserves, which is what they're there for issues like this. Certainly Jeremy is here to speak to the financial aspect of things. Brad and Eric can certainly chime in on other aspects, and then we have White and Williams here if there are any specific questions for them.
Jeremy, could I ask you to address some of the financial issues, because that clearly is the big element right here.
Yeah, when we've looked at the 10-year plan, Sue met actually before she left, and we talked again this morning. There's really a low point only in 2017, so that's even a few years out. So will we be below our targeted level in 2017? If everything works out exactly as planned, yes. But as life goes, it never works out that way. So things change, things shift. Eric's project list continually shifts. There are savings from bids, revenues that we didn't account for. So I think now would be a perfect time to utilize those reserves and give you guys the flexibility to move on with this project.
Just a quick follow-up question. When you said 2017 would be a low point
Yep.
as far as target,
Yep.
Is that target different than, if you will, the requirement to maintain our AAA bond rating?
Yes, this is a self-imposed target. With the size of our capital program, we feel it just necessary to have these such reserves around so that it gives you guys flexibility. Again, if a project comes up, we can move on it. So this would just be dipping into that just slightly, lower than we would like to go. But again, things change. So we might not ever get below that target.
Vice President Ori?
I'm comfortable with that early assessment, but I think we had at our last meeting on February 26th a number of items that had been shifted. I would like at our next meeting on the, what's that, the 26th also, that we do a comprehensive review of our 10-year forecast and the finances associated with this, and see whether we, that get into some of the details along the way and how those shifts that we had anticipated and approved of at the last meeting impact the overall, and especially how this impacts things along the way. So I think it would be a good time for such a review.
Commissioner Hardy?
Just curious as to how our project contingency plays into all this, if at all.
Yeah, it's, currently there is a contingency for the activity center project set at $1 million, and we're going to see how things go with construction. As we identified earlier, there's some unsuitable soil conditions we're looking to address once we start the earthwork operations. But as we progress through the project and we have savings, we'll definitely return that back to the district and inform the park board.
Dirk, did you have a comment?
I just wanted to be clear that we referenced it, so I want to be clear for everybody about making it transparent. Ray sent an email to the commissioners today with the early analysis of staff on this, including the fact that presently the project's $140,000 under budget after the second round of packages came in on bid. At our last meeting, as Commissioner already pointed out, we were, on this particular project, we were a little higher for the first set of bid packages. The second set has brought us under. So that's where some of this information is coming from, is from Ray's earlier email to the commissioners with the first level of analysis. And second, just to bolster what Jeremy said, we're not in danger of any legal requirements on reserves at all. It's been the planned reserve policy of the board and its target, and it's only in that 1 year where we dip below that. And then, as you heard in Ray's prior report of recommending tabling the eatery project for further discussion sometime down the road after we get our arms around the grant situation, that'll automatically change the delta between our target and how short we'll be also. And then lastly, just a little bit to let you know, I've talked to IAPD this afternoon about where they are in terms of responding to what's going on in Springfield on the grant projects. Some of the letters that say these things are suspended, they say in them that you should cease work on any project funded by the grant money. Some park districts have taken that literally and kicked contractors off their job sites. And it's now becoming an issue where this is a jobs-killing maneuver by a governor who promised to create jobs. And that's the messaging that's going on, that no other kind of grant is a local match that creates jobs for capital. And he's killing jobs, and that's the message that is being promoted down in Springfield. And as has typically happened in the past, where the legislature and the governor coalesce around things that do create jobs. So while all of the assumptions that Ray put in his email today are a worst case scenario that we never see any of the money on the park grant or OSLAD grant, IAPD is of the opinion at the moment that, as has always historically happened, there will be some compromise that will result in probably some of this money. Probably not all of it, but some of it may come back. But can't count on that. And so for that reason, we've tried to use assumptions in giving you information today that's we don't get the 2.5, any of it.
And basically my suggestion that we have some comprehensive review is really the worst case planning, and I think that's the smart way to do it, and figure out where we're at. So I don't know if staff would be ready in a couple of weeks to be able to do that. I think they've probably done all of that today in a rather hurried up fashion, but I think we got time to put some things together so that the board has a pretty good picture of the detail.
Commissioner Egan.
So I'm going to ask the obvious question. So assuming that we're going to have to make some cuts out of the $2.5 million, assuming we're not going to make that money, or if we go for if we're not going to align to all the reserves, that's a conversation down the road. But these items tonight, they need to go anyway. Utilities, grading, all of those things. Nothing, any decisions that we impact down the road is not going to shrink the size or do anything that would impact these bids tonight, right?
That's correct.
Right. The only elaboration I would offer is We learned a lot, particularly Marie and I, having gone through the aftermath of the recreation center, the one down by 95th Street. There were costs associated with suspending and then terminating that project, and there were lawsuits and all the rest. And some of that occurred before we were attorneys, but in going through that process, we took those lessons and applied them in the contracts we have here, and we did better in terms of the contracts. We have good partners in Williams and White, but it's not cost-free to start over or start on a new design. And in fact, we estimate the transactional costs conservatively of trying to do anything different, as you pointed out, Commissioner Egan. The transactional costs associated with that would be $1 million. I mean, just delaying it a little while puts us into winter conditions, and those are actual hard costs on top of the administrative costs. So while we did better with our partners, it's still not cost-free. And so when we say, yeah, we need to move forward, it's to avoid all of those costs to the taxpayer that don't actually result in a single square foot of usable indoor space.
Commissioner Janner?
Yeah, I would just like to reiterate that this project was never contingent on this grant. In fact, you know, when we found out about the grant, I personally was pleasantly surprised. I think some of us were as well. So I think the train needs to stay on the track here, and I would advise the board that we stay on course and move forward with these contracts as planned.
Any other discussion on the motion? Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Young, absent. President Riley.
Yes.
And I'm going to butt in here, President Riley, on the next action item, which was concerning the eatery. We had given you a couple of different motions there. But in light of what's transpired and in light of the advice Ray gave, the staff's position, a different motion is in order. You heard Ray refer to it in his report. And it's to reject all bids, which we need to do to close out the bidding process as a formality. And then there's to table this for further board direction, which means we can bring it up at the committee level or a workshop or whenever you want as a discussion item and start over sometime in the future, whenever that's appropriate and whenever we have the information we need. I mean, certainly after we do the analysis Commissioner Ori's asked for about the long-term capital planning and where this would fit or not fit or whatever. So in lieu of item 11 is written, we are recommending, I am recommending as legal counsel to you, an alternate motion, which is to reject all bids and to table the eatery project for further board direction into the future.
So I would entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll second it.
I will so move that to reject all bids and table to a date uncertain.
A second from Commissioner Egan. Is there any discussion on the motion? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Young, absent. President Riley.
Yes. Next item that we have is our schedule of future meetings. Our next regular meeting of the Park District Board of Commissioners will be March 26th, 6 p.m. at our South Maintenance Facility, lunchroom, followed by April 9th, 2015. We will be here at Municipal Center at 7 p.m.
No, I don't have any further update on the pending litigation at this time, so no need for an executive session.
There's no need for executive session.
Move to adjourn the March 12th, 2015 regular meeting.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all.